What's going on? So what I think about Cassie at the start of the Diddy trial, and she the most important witness testifying, and the old ride or die. What do I think? You're not gonna get away with the rainfall of the money without somebody else behind something doing funny. You just know that that windfall, all that money, the feds were watching. They were waiting for an opening, but she could have been in negotiations and talk. Um, I was watching Willie D live, and he brought up something which is true. Could be a spring trap if she runs her mouth too much, because she could actually, she has to, she's not this innocent victim about not knowing things. Now, not condoning him at all, and he should definitely do his time. However, what time are we really talking? Because though that part of the detail of the video is real and it was wrong, and it was bought and paid off by some powers that be who did that to make sure that the status of limitations. Let's keep that in mind. He's not in trouble for that video. Unfortunately, that statute of limitations expired. If they use that as a means to get a guilty verdict in this case, that is double jeopardy. That is actually law breaking, and that's actually something that would be unconstitutional. As sad as it is, that's not why he's where he's at. So, with everything that's going on, she had money, she had a lifestyle, she wanted to be accomplished to something. Now, her job is to point all of the pieces that led to people being brought in to participate, and then all the freak offs and all the drugs and all the debauch, all of that. Not the debauchery, not the acts that was consensual adults. So keep that in mind. This is a very fine line. If she gets herself caught up in a cross examination where she has to explain her financial stake in it, if they do press that, she could get Al Capone. Now, you do know what Al Capone is, right? That's tax evasion. If Diddy's books are accurate, but she was an employee, or she had a tie in as an artist, which we use the term loosely because let's keep it 100. She was a fourth tier singer in a three-tier era. That means she couldn't sing and had no business singing, but that was a front. That was window fronting. That's what all they do. So, but the ride or die part, she was down for the cause till she finally got up out of there. Now, it's easier to get a civil case than this criminal. We all know that. And everybody got hands out. One of the problems that people are one of the things that he does have as a haymaker in this case is that there's a lot of hands trying to get paid. So who's all telling the truth, who's not, what you can prove, what you can't. So I think there are going to be some things that won't make it, you know. I still don't hear where there's no RICO, though. I still don't hear a RICO in this. I hear a guy that was fronting a window. I just don't hear no RICO. I need to hear a RICO, and I don't hear it. To have a credible RICO, he'd have to have people under him, and they would all have to go down. So until I actually see a case where that is actually in proof, I'm not buying any of these artists out here as RICO leaders. That's why I said with R. Kelly. Because let's keep it. If you took the RICO out of it, these cats are looking at a straight 10, 12, 15 tops. And with 85% in time served and what they've done, they probably be out about 7 or 8. Especially when it's first time offenses. You better have something that has a strong lining to rock somebody up for life off a first time offense, especially when you don't really have nothing there. But again, not condoning, because he did a lot of dirt, and it is, I'm gonna tell you something, it's not just women's rights, it's everyone's rights what he did. However, Cassie is not no innocent bystander, and she was openly palmed when she was with Ryan Leslie, who did Diamond Girl, who was a boyfriend at the time when they went to the meeting. And obviously, there was a trade off. So, you know, just saying, you know, about what happened. So, but it's interesting that that's going to probably be the main person that if you, as the jump off, pun intended, the pun intended, after Cassie is kind of like a snowball because it's cut in half. Who's going to be credible after her? Because it really doesn't hit as hard. And you know why it doesn't hit as hard? You know why? Because unless a Mary J. Blige gets up there, his baby mamas get up there, Jennifer Lopez gets up there, Jay-Z gets up there, all the people that Clive Davis gets up there. See, accountability, witness, and all that all have to come into play. They all have to come into play. And it runs deeper than you think. Because, yeah, your cohorts and your co-workers should be able to testify one way or the other. All them people you dealt with, French Montana, Meek Mill, all of it. But Cassie going to have more center stage than his mom and all that. That's understandable. But then again, the trade-off for immunity. Had they say anything about immunity that she says what she says, that they don't come back and hit her with a tax evasion or don't hit her with something. You got to think about all that stuff. All that stuff. The sponsors, everybody. Again, industry involved. There's somebody who pulled the strings to mount the flow with him. And this is what up. And I see why he's taking the gamble he's taking. Because technically, as deviant as he is and all the bad stuff, right, it is not a life sentence. Especially if Trump don't get locked up. But that's another story, another video. But just sticking here with him. A lot of things he did that should have happened. I'm not one of those kind of people that believe in this late night karma trip. Like Cinderella, 12 o'clock, we're going to come and cash you in. It's a very devious game they play because they build up. And why it comes racial is because the black entertainers or what have you get this pass to get through a case and a hop. But you don't get to hop. They're going to come back after you. They give you that token one to make you feel. That's what Jay-Z's experience. Because that whole thing with Lansing Rivera, that's all coming back. I'm telling you, don't think they won't come at you the 2 times. They did it to OJ. They try to come after Michael Jackson. And then with that whole thing with R. Kelly, is like, come on now, you know good and well. And how they did Bill Cosby. But again, this thing with Diddy, with the ride or die with Cassie, she's the most important, crucial person to testify. But it might not come out. If it comes out there's a split with the defense, then they can flip some things. If they can flip a couple of things, they're not going to get over the heinous because it's too heinous. But if they can make it where she was down with the freaky deaky in the parts and she got paid and they got receipts, but they don't have her receipts and they showed that she was an entrepreneur, they can make her almost like a mini Heidi Fleiss. They can make her like one of them Kardashian, what the mama Kardashian do, pimping out. So it could go a lot of different ways. You got to be careful how you word these things. You got to be careful how you say these things. Especially if you don't go about doing things the right way with it, then you set yourself up for something. Because you got to always wonder, how does someone flip and turn? And then this is what happens. So there's going to be some real interesting theatrics when it's all said and done. There's going to be some stuff that his stuff is out there. But this is the thing. Does that mean that you are worthy of that life sentence? There's a whole different, from legalities and the jargon, there's a whole hit that ain't even came about. And what could actually maybe flip with where she's concerned. There's going to be somebody going to get flipped. But what you need is the people that were association. Shine ain't going to come back and say nothing against him. Macy going to come on and say nothing against him. There's a lot that won't, because there's money been pushed around and sprinkled around. Now, if he was kind of like an R. Kelly's dire financial straits, they could. But they got hands and fingers and pies. There's still money being made. Make no mistake about it. And I still say, when it's all said and done, he'll still have about 100, 200 million to play with. If he invests wisely and he got stuff tucked, which I'm sure he's got something tucked, he'll have something to work with. Because there's always going to be somebody that knows that they got a gold in the diggings. But this thing with Cassie, this is it, really. This is the mother lode right here. Now, how it parlays, we'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think about Cassie opening week against Diddy in court. And is she the end-all, be-all for the prosecutor's case? Because really, I think that's about 70, 80, that's about 80% of it right there. If anything gets flipped, he got a slim chance of hope. But there are other things in there that ain't so clear-cut. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.